What if the sharp pain in your feet, the kind that stops you from walking to the mailbox or gets worse at night, wasn't just aging? What if it was your body quietly begging for help, and you could calm it in just 10 minutes a day at home without pills? Here's the hidden truth. Over 52% of Americans over 60 believe cold, swollen, or burning feet are normal signs of getting older. But doctors now know it's often early blood vessel blockage, a silent warning that can affect everything from your heart to your memory. And yet, there's one simple mix, using ingredients most people already have in their kitchen, that has helped seniors ease pain, warm their toes again, and even sleep deeper, sometimes in just 48 hours. Today, you'll learn exactly how to make it, how long to soak, and the 3 small mistakes that quietly cancel its effect for most people. But the most shocking part, the strongest benefit isn't inside your veins. It's inside your memory. And the deepest secret won't be revealed until we reach problem number 1. So stay with me. Here's the first problem, and it's one nearly everyone over 60 dismisses. Cold feet, numb toes, a bluish tint on the nails. Most people say it's just age or my shoes are too tight. But here's the truth. Cold feet rarely start in your feet. They start in your arteries. When tiny blood vessels in your lower legs tighten or fill with plaque, the warmth, oxygen, and nutrients that should reach your toes don't. That's why your feet feel like ice even when the room is warm, or why you rub them for relief at 2 a.m. Take Roberto, 72. He used to blame his pain on walking too much at Costco, but one nurse quietly asked, "Have your feet been cold for months, even in summer?" It turned out his circulation was slowing down long before his chest ever felt tight, a warning that his heart was working harder than he knew. The quick fix? A 10-minute soak in warm water, 100-104 degrees, with just 3 drops of rosemary essential oil and 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt. Rosemary has been shown in clinical studies to gently dilate blood vessels and improve capillary flow. Epsom salt delivers magnesium, which eases muscle tension and helps push stagnant blood back toward the heart. Roberto's feet stopped feeling numb and wooden after just 2 nights of this simple soak. But here's the catch, and it's where most seniors go wrong. If your blood pressure is unstable, this soak won't fully work. And that brings us to problem number 6, why circulation collapses even when your feet are warm. So you're soaking your feet. You're using the warm water. You're even adding the rosemary oil and Epsom salt, but nothing changes. Your feet are still cold. Your calves still feel like they're wrapped in tight bands. Your sleep still breaks every 2 hours. Here's the often ignored reason. When your blood pressure spikes or drops too quickly, even by just 20 points, the arteries in your lower legs clamp down to protect your heart. That means even the best foot soak can't fully open your vessels because your body is busy fighting a pressure imbalance. Meet Helen, 68. She tried the exact same rosemary soak as Roberto, but after a week, she felt almost nothing. Her doctor asked one question. "Do you feel lightheaded when you stand up quickly?" Helen's blood pressure was swinging, 135/78 in the morning, 162/91 by late afternoon. The foot soak helped a little, but her arteries were still on guard. So her doctor suggested a simple addition. Before soaking, add 1/8 a teaspoon of cayenne pepper to the warm water. Cayenne's active compound, capsaicin, gently improves peripheral blood flow and helps the body release nitric oxide, a natural vessel relaxer. Within 3 days, Helen felt a warm tingle instead of numbness. By day 7, she stopped waking up from burning calf pain. But here's the warning almost nobody mentions. If inflammation in your leg vessels is high, from diet, stress, or medication. This fix alone still won't be enough, which leads us to problem number 5, the silent inflammation that mimics nerve damage, and how one pantry ingredient can calm it almost overnight. You know that burning feeling in your calves? The kind that shows up after just 10 steps from the car to the front door? Most people think it's muscle fatigue. Some think it's nerve damage. But in people over 60, it's often something hidden and reversible. Silent inflammation inside the blood vessels of the lower legs. As plaque forms in the arterial walls, even tiny early plaque, the body sends white blood cells to attack it. That's good. But when it happens over and over again, the vessels swell, tighten, and reduce blood flow. That's why your legs feel weak and on fire, even if you barely moved. Carl, 73, had this exact issue. He tried foot massages, new shoes, compression socks. Nothing helped. Until his neighbor, a retired nurse, said, "That's not your muscles, that's inflammation, and you can calm it right in your kitchen." Her trick? Add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to the warm foot soak. The baking soda slightly alkalizes the water, reducing skin-level inflammation. The apple cider vinegar adds natural acetic acid, which improves circulation and lowers C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker. By the 3rd night, Carl said, "It didn't burn anymore, it just loosened." By the 5th night, he walked his driveway without stopping once. But here's what's important. Even if the inflammation goes down, the foot soak won't fully work if the skin on your feet is too dry to absorb the compounds. And yes, almost every senior with circulation issues has this exact problem. Which brings us to problem number 4, the silent barrier that blocks 90% of herbal soak benefits. And the fix is as simple as 1 thin layer of something you already own. So you're soaking, you've added the rosemary oil, the Epsom salt, maybe even the cayenne or baking soda. But for some reason, the relief is only temporary. Or worse, nothing changes at all. Here's what almost nobody tells seniors. If the skin on your feet is dry, cracked, or flaky, it becomes a literal barrier. It blocks absorption. The natural compounds in your soak can't reach the blood vessels beneath. That's why Lydia, 66, felt frustrated. She was doing everything right, but her heels were dry. Her skin felt like thin paper, and her soak wasn't working. She started thinking the solution was flawed, until her granddaughter, a physical therapist, said something small but brilliant. You need to prepare the skin before you soak. The solution? Before every foot soak, apply a thin layer of castor oil or olive oil to the tops and bottoms of the feet. Just a few drops. Why? Because natural oils help soften the skin barrier and open microchannels between cells, letting the antioxidants, minerals, and herbal extracts penetrate deeper. Lydia tried it. Night 1. She noticed a faint warming instead of her usual numbness. Night 3. The color in her feet changed. Less pale, more pink. Night 7. She said, "I didn't feel like I was walking on glass anymore." But here's the twist. Even with circulation improved and the skin barrier lowered, there's a silent nighttime habit that can undo 50% of progress while you sleep. And almost nobody realizes they're doing it. That brings us to problem number 3. The water trap that causes swelling and restless legs after a soak, unless you fix this one thing before bed. Here's a problem almost no one warns seniors about. You're soaking your feet. You're feeling the warmth. The stiffness is melting. You dry off, go to bed. And then you wake up with ankles more swollen than before. How is that even possible? The answer has nothing to do with the soak and everything to do with gravity and timing. When you soak your feet, The heat pulls blood toward the lower body. That's good. It opens vessels and releases tension. But if you go to bed immediately after soaking, your circulation slows down while that warm blood is still pooled in your legs. With the legs flat and the heart relaxed, fluid gets trapped, leading to puffy ankles, restless legs, heaviness in the calves the next morning. That's exactly what happened to George at 70. Every night he soaked, then crawled straight under the blankets. His feet felt loose at first, then tight again by sunrise, until someone at his senior center said, "Don't go to bed after you soak. Elevate your legs on just 15 minutes." So he tried it. After every soak, George sat in his recliner with his legs raised 6 to 8 inches above heart level, feet against a pillow or padded stool. That simple shift, letting gravity drain pooled blood, changed everything. By day 4, the swelling was gone. By week 2, he slept through the night without that electric crawling feeling in his shins. But here's the part George never expected. Even when the swelling was gone, his feet still tingled whenever he ate something sweet. That's the real hidden trigger. And it brings us to problem number 2. The sugar trap that causes circulation to collapse within hours, even if you eat healthy. You've improved blood flow. You've lowered inflammation. You're even elevating your legs after soaking. But then, out of nowhere, the pain comes back. And the tingling returns. Your feet feel asleep again. Most seniors blame their shoes, their age, even the weather. But here's the quiet truth. You can undo an entire day of progress with just one hidden source of sugar. And we're not talking about cake. We're talking about the kind of sugar that hides in things seniors are told are healthy, like bottled fruit juice, flavored yogurt, coffee creamers, sports drinks, or even low-fat snacks. These foods are high in fructose, a type of sugar that causes a rapid spike in inflammation markers like CRP and interleukin-6. Within 2 hours of eating them, blood vessels shrink, circulation slows, and nerve endings begin to misfire. That's exactly what happened to Hazel, 67. She was soaking, elevating, even walking daily, but she still woke up with buzzing feet after dinner. Until a nutritionist showed her this simple swap. Cut out just 2 sugary drinks per day, replace them with water, herbal tea, and, if you want a bonus, a literal pinch of ground cinnamon in the foot soak. Why cinnamon? Because it naturally reduces blood sugar spikes and helps keep vessels relaxed for hours after a meal. Hazel tried it. By day 3, the evening tingles were gone. By day 6, she said her feet felt alive again. But even after the sugar fix, there's still one problem left to solve, because you can have warm feet, steady pressure, calm vessels, and still be missing the strongest benefit of all, the memory circulation link. Which brings us to problem number 1, the foot-brain connection almost nobody talks about, and why seniors who fix it feel sharper in just 7 to 14 days. This is the final problem, and the most surprising one. What if the pain in your feet wasn't just a circulation issue? What if it was a reflection of something deeper happening in your brain? Here's the hidden truth most doctors don't mention unless you ask. Your feet are the farthest point from your heart, and the first place to show signs of low blood flow. But the next place that suffers is your memory. That's why seniors who start soaking their feet for circulation often report something else after 7 to 14 days. They don't just walk better. They think better. Take Doris, 74. She started soaking her feet just to stop the throbbing that hit every night around 8 p.m. But after a week, she noticed something strange. She remembered her neighbor's name instantly. She didn't lose track of her keys. Her mind felt clearer, like someone wiped the fog off the mirror. She talked to her doctor, who said something simple and shocking. What heals your feet also heals your brain, because both depend on nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a natural molecule your body makes to open blood vessels, relax arteries, and send oxygen-rich blood to the brain. Foot soaking, especially with rosemary oil, Epsom salt, and the right temperature, increases nitric oxide levels systemically. That means better blood flow to the toes and to the hippocampus, the part of the brain that controls memory and spatial thinking. Doris kept soaking. After 2 weeks, she said, "I didn't just feel younger, I thought younger." But we're not done. Because even if the pain fades, even if the mind sharpens, there's still one step almost every senior skips: the exact soak recipe, with safe ratios, temperature, timing, and the mistake that ruins 90% of results. And that's what we'll cover next. Most people watch a video like this, nod along, feel hopeful, and then still don't know exactly what to do. So let me make this clear, simple, and real, because this isn't theory. Seniors have used this exact method to calm burning feet, walk farther without stopping, and even sleep through the night again. Start by filling a small basin or foot tub with warm water. Not hot, not cool, just comfortably warm. Around 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm water alone already signals the blood vessels in your lower legs to relax. Then add 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt to bring in magnesium, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to reduce inflammation at the surface, and 3 to 5 drops of rosemary essential oil to open up circulation inside the smallest vessels. If your skin is intact and your blood pressure is stable, you can add just a pinch, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, of cayenne pepper. It sounds strange, but that tiny amount of cayenne stimulates blood flow near the skin and helps your body release more nitric oxide, which is the molecule behind the warming, soothing effect we've talked about. Before you lower your feet into the water, rub a very thin layer of olive oil or castor oil over your heels, toes, and the tops of your feet. Dry skin blocks absorption more than most people realize, and this small step helps active compounds move deeper. Then sit, breathe, relax, and soak your feet for 10 to 12 minutes. No more, no less. When you're done, don't go straight to bed. Sit in a recliner or on a couch and raise your legs 6 to 8 inches above your heart for at least 10 minutes. That single step is what prevents fluid from pooling and undoing all the progress. Most seniors who follow this routine feel warmer toes, less burning at night, and smoother steps within 5 to 7 days. Some even say their mind feels clearer, as though better circulation to the feet somehow sent a signal upward to the brain. But there's something I haven't mentioned yet. There's one more ingredient that turns this soak from a foot remedy into a full body reset. And it's powerful enough that it needs its own explanation. We'll unlock that in the next video. Maybe the most comforting realization is this: your body never stopped trying to heal. It was always sending signals. The numb toes, the burning calves, the tightness at night, not to punish you, but to ask for help. And now, finally, you're learning to answer. Pain isn't just a symptom. It's a message saying something can still change. And change doesn't always need a surgeon or a prescription. Sometimes it begins with warm water, a small basin, and the courage to believe your body can respond, even after 60, 70, or 80 years of living. If you've ever been told that's just how aging works, let this be the moment you gently push back, because aging doesn't mean breaking. Aging means adapting. It's not time that shuts down the blood flow to your feet. It's neglect. And the beautiful thing about neglect is it can be reversed, one mindful step at a time. Here's what I hope you take from this. Your health is not past tense. Nothing inside you is too old to care for. Not your veins, not your nerves, not your memories. The world may rush, but healing has its own speed. 10 minutes, a quiet chair, water that forgives, and a body that remembers how to recover when we stop fighting it. Try this soak for 7 days in a row. Don't rush the results. Just listen. Notice what softens, what warms, what wakes up. And if you feel something shift, even a little, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. They might be quietly hurting in the very same way. If you're still here, if you've watched all the way through, comment the word awake. Not because you owe me anything, but because it shows you haven't given up on your own body, and neither have I. In the next video, we'll talk about the one ingredient I didn't mention today, the one that turns this foot soak into a whole body reset ritual. I held it back on purpose because I want you to experience this first step for yourself. And when you're ready, I'll be here.